Now, I don't have to go undercover often, but when I do, I make sure I am prepared. The problem with going undercover, though, is that many times you don't know that you're going to need to go undercover until the need arises. So you must be prepared at all times. Now, I have a huge box that I keep with me in my surveillance vehicle that has all kinds of props and other tools. I have orange cones, orange lights I put on top of my vehicle. I have orange safety vests, several jackets, shirts, t-shirts, hats, as well as some other items. Now, this case was an infidelity case. The subject was flying in for a working seminar, but she was also flying in with her boss, whom our client suspected of having an affair with his wife. This seminar they were going to was at a smaller convention hotel, and it was determined that we would probably not have much opportunity to get video there due to the compact environment. So we knew our best shot at getting the money shot was going to probably be at the airport when they arrived, or at the hotel that they were staying in. Now, the client didn't know what hotel they would be in for sure. His wife said she was staying at one hotel, but when he tried to confirm she was staying there, he found out that she didn't have a room reserved. But this was a company trip, so maybe the company had some things mixed up. We got to the airport about an hour before our plane arrived. We had photos of him, photos of her, and a good description of her bag that she was checking at the airport. And we also knew what flight she was on, so identifying her was going to be fairly easy. So we were able to get out to the gate and wait for her to arrive as well. We were utilizing 2 investigators on this one to make sure that we could get and keep a good tell on her, as we also had no idea how she was going to get to the hotel. She could be getting picked up by somebody, she could be on a shuttle, or she could go get a rental car. Our initial plan was that we would both be in the airport together. We knew she checked her bag, so we knew we had some time. One of us was out at the gate waiting for her. The other one was near the area where all of the passengers arrived on the train from the gates. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. Now, as unusual as this sounds, the plane was actually a few minutes early. No worries, we were all set up. The other PI was in position at the gate. I was in position in the main terminal. Here come the passengers off the plane, business class and first class first. No sign of her, but there was a male subject who matched the description of her boss just hanging out by the gate. Now the other passengers are deboarding, one after another. Here they come. Then we see her. She's walking, and she's looking everywhere as if she's looking for somebody. Then her eyes meet his eyes, and a big smile comes across both of their faces. But the weird part, they don't meet up with each other. She was also talking with a lot of other people off the plane, so we figured she was traveling with other people from the same company, and maybe she didn't want anybody to know what she was really coming to Denver for that week. She boards the train with some friends. He also boards the train with some other folks. Now it seems weird. Who knows? Maybe they aren't together. Maybe he isn't even the guy that we're watching for. They both arrive at the baggage claim area along with everybody else. We sit and we wait and we wait and, well, we wait. It's an airport, so we wait a little longer for the luggage carousel to start turning. Finally, luggage starts coming. People are grabbing bags. Then we see the bag we know is hers, and yep, she gets it. Then she walks away and waves goodbye to her friends. A few minutes later, we see all of her friends leaving, and they get on a hotel shuttle outside of the airport. The other investigator had already left at this point and had established surveillance outside of the airport to pick up a tell on whatever vehicle she got in. I stayed back and I watched as things unfolded. Eventually, I see her look up, and there he is standing at the door with his luggage. That same man that she smiled towards at the gate that we thought might be her boss. He walked over to her, then he bends over, he looks around a little nervously, then he kisses her on the cheek, and then he grabs her bag, and they walk out together. I am like, gotcha! Money shot has been made. I followed them out, and then I see them getting on a shuttle for a hotel. I grab the license plate, and I quickly call the other gator, and I give him the description of the vehicle, and I hightail it back to my car. We knew where they were going, so there was no need to compromise the investigation at this point, as we had several days to work the case. I get back to my car and I speed out of the airport. I knew they were well ahead of me, and I knew the other PI had a tail on them. We had the advantage, though. Once the shuttle arrived at the hotel, the other gator went inside, set up over in the bar area, and started getting video. When I arrived, I grabbed a parking space, and then I grabbed a ball cap and an old shirt out of the back of my car, and I went inside. I see the other gator over in the bar. I see the 2 subjects over at the front desk. I head over that way to try to see if I can hear a room number. Then they get handed a set of 2 keys, instructions how to get to their room, and they head toward the elevator. I am about 10 feet behind them, and I see the other gator on an intercept path. I let them get on, I let the other gator get on, then I get on. Now, I have my ball cap on, I took my glasses off, and I have an old, wrinkled, unbuttoned up, button-up shirt over a t-shirt and a cane. I hunch over as I enter and I say something like, excuse me, please. Oh man, it is so hot out there. And then I work myself to the back of the elevator. Now, the heated conversation between the subject and her boss and what they were going to do together that night all alone was evidence enough for us. But to get the money shot, if they went into the same hotel room, would be even better. Ding! The elevator arrives at their floor. They get off and around the corner they go. The other gator gets off and I see him stick his camera around the corner to get video as they walk down the hall hand in hand. I get off and I keep complaining about the heat, and I walk over to some soda machines and I get myself a cold soda. Then I walk over to the other gator and I say, in my normal voice, you get them? He looks over at me really surprised and says, yep, they just went into the room. I say together and he says, yep. Then we get on the elevator, we head down to the lobby where we plan to wait in the bar for them. Finally, the other gator says, how did you know what floor I was on? I said, I was on the elevator with you. Then he says, no, you weren't. It was them, me, and some old... Then he takes a second look at me and he realizes I was on the elevator with them the whole time.